that new tenant showed up, and Justin sees him get out of his car on the cameras, like just a little blob of a person, and he was like, "Who's that? I don't like him." That's what he said. "Who's that? I don't like him."
For me, I'm more of like the front end of it.
I'm just making it up. Of a similar nature or character.
JMKast. JMKast.
But we get shocked often by Chris.
If you Google my name, it always pulls up Ric Flair and Blackjack Mulligan. That's another story for another time, though.
All right.
It's another story, so it's another time.
It's 2023.
It is.
This is episode 4. It could be 5.
I think it's 5, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
that
6.
last one went pretty long.
Could be 7.
Marshall showed up.
Yeah, look
so. Yeah, thanks, Marshall.
I'm windy.
I'm a windy young man.
Yeah,
That's all good. That was awesome, though.
Yeah, but anyway.
JMKast. I'm Rick Mulligan. He's not going to introduce himself, evidently. I'm Rick.
Oh, yeah, it's the JMKast.
He forgets to do that every time.
Greg T. Johnson.
Ah.
Yeah, you can take naps in between his...
That was pretty short. Though.
Yeah, compared...
I mean, it's
can drive a
nothing
truck
normal.
through some of the gaps.
I mean, 18-wheeler, all 18. One of those double, with both, when they get the big FedEx and Amazon trucks.
So we're back again at Workspace Studios. We're in the office, which is Todd's office in Garland.
We originally thought we would go to each room.
And then the setup was too much.
Yeah, then we set it up and went, ooh,
No.
a lot of
Too much
setup
work.
breakdown. So maybe we'll have to come back again and do it in another room
Yeah,
at
there you
different
go.
times.
There you
so
go.
I mean, you never know. Never
So
know.
with Todd Stewart, Edgar Solis,
And Marshall.
and, Richard Marshall.
Marshall.
But he goes by Marshall.
Marshall.
And
Like Madonna. Or Sting.
He's a one name. He's
Bono.
like Luca.
Luca,
The Edge.
yes. I'll take Luca. Out of all those people, I'd compare me to Luca.
I mean,
You're about as tall as he is.
He's the golden
that
child
actually-
right
taller
now.
than
How
him,
tall
aren't
are you?
6'10".
Okay.
I
So-
swore you were only like 5'4".
Sitting. 5'4". Me and Todd look eye to eye. It's
true.
When I walk in, he's like, sit down.
Sit down right now.
He's like, me.
Stop making me feel short.
Look me into the eye.
Hold on, let me give a step stool.
So
That's funny.
we're at your space, which so you were here already, Todd.
Correct, yeah.
Marshall also was here. Who came first?
So I was here in 2006. What time did you actually move to Texas?
I came in at 2012.
Okay, so
So a little
I'd been
over
here
2
6 years already.
Yeah, and all I heard was it was resembled. I came in after the initial SEAL Team 6 operatives.
That's right.
Like when all I heard was before,
right.
like from his cousin and from
That's right.
him. Like it was there were like
Yes, there was
cars on fire and people.
There
living-
was scheduled to be a 12-man team dropped off here to clean this up, but it turned out to be just me. It would look like, I used to tell everybody, it looked like Mogadishu. It looked like a little third world country when I first got here because the buildings were all beat up and run down. It's trash everywhere, cars up on blocks.
It was very rough. Because I was here.
You saw it, yeah, he saw it.
Oh,
And
so
it
that's why it
was-
looked like
I
garbage.
remember the very first time I saw the property, and there was like so many weeds were growing up all through the parking lot and everything. And I called Hampton, the attorney, and I was like, am I in the right place? Is this looks like an abandoned crack warehouse.
He goes, yeah, why do you think I sold it to you?
He's like, no, it's operating. It's just it's being operated badly. That's why they need your help. And so I walked into the property, this main alleyway here, and I kid you not, I paused and I looked down, and a tumbleweed goes by the other end of the parking lot. I was like, doo-doo-doo-doo. That's exactly what I thought.
That's hilarious.
It was a moment.
Dude, it was rough.
It was.
I mean, when he's not exaggerating.
I'm not
It
exaggerating.
was just.
No, this
It was a
this
rough
neighborhood used to be
situation.
rougher when I first got here, and the worst place in the entire neighborhood was this property. So when I moved in and kicked everybody out, the entire neighborhood improved.
I was going to say,
Absolutely.
you're kicking out the garbage.
I had to evict about half of the tenants that were here.
And you know what? I've never asked you that. So, what made you decide who stayed and who went? Aside from people that were paying and not
I was
paying.
gonna say,
That's the easy one.
It was mainly people who aren't criminals.
So in other words,
I think it was a pretty low threshold.
So even though the meth lab was paying the rent, they had to go.
Yeah.
It's right. It's exactly right. It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Oh, you could spend the whole in the 10 years I've been here, man. You've made the news a few times.
I did. Yeah. Not me, the property.
Just stuff getting stolen, breaking, people throwing gates, and
that's right.
Times when we were officing out of here, just all of a sudden a bunch of unmarked cars or assembling, and
we've
dudes
had,
like this, but AR-15s
we've
in
had
their back, like it's just SWAT team just all of a sudden rolls in.
Yeah, we had a young tenant, and I guess he was. It almost sounded like a cute parent. I think he wanted to be a gangster. I think he was really trying to be tough. No, it was a young guy, and I remember my buddy Justin was visiting, who I went to the Army with, and Justin's got a great read on people. And that new tenant showed up, and Justin sees him get out of his car on the cameras, like just a little blob of a person. And he was like, "Who's that? I don't like him." That's what he said. "Who's that? I don't like him." And so the guy's like, he's just a new tenant. He's going to go. Within 30 days, we had like 12 like Secret Service agents here because. And they showed me the warrant to search his unit, and it said counterfeiting. I'm like, so that's immediately Secret Service. So it's
anything
let
money,
me tell you.
Secret Service.
So we have people that come to this property, and you've seen it too, where they really can't enter the code. Like it's an old keypad, so you have to be really delicate with it, right? Most everybody's like, oh, the keypad's not working. I hear this from so many tenants. Let me tell you, not one of those federal agents had a problem with that keypad. And they were like in all these unmarked cars. And they were all like little Hondas and you name it. They were tinted windows, no markings. And they got out and they were like all blue gloves, their little forensic kit. And I was like, let's just stay away from them. They had dogs, they had helicopters.
Oh, they had it cased out.
There was like a Spectrum, like undercover guy next door. Like you could see him. He was like in a Spectrum truck. He's like, somebody's leaving the property now. You could see him talking to his sleeve.
What?
Oh yeah, it was like a Jason Bourne movie.
It was out of the movies.
It was like that.
I'm surprised you didn't knock on the window and be like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? How you doing?"
Well, no, I had to talk to them to let them in. And they were like, "Well, if these people are criminal," I said, "Oh yeah, they seem kind of weird to me, but I'm not a police. I don't police people. But if they don't commit a crime that I see, I something I can really do." But the warrant was like a whole long list of stuff. I was like, okay. So we had a guy bust out of the gate that got streamed live on Facebook. It made news. He like stole a truck.
There he goes.
Came in here. Oh yeah, came in here, stole a trailer, blasted through the gates, like broke the gates. And I was sitting here having coffee with Mark Cornwell.
Oh yeah.
And when it happened, he's like, "What the hell?" And so I run outside. I call the police, and I call him like I describe the vehicle. And I didn't know this, but when you're on 911, they're broadcasting your call out to all the available police. Did you know that? It's not just like a dispatcher.
No.
It's in all the cars. So there was a police officer on Jupiter, and he heard my 911 comment. I said, "Yeah, it's a black F-350. It's pulling this really nice, expensive, like 30-foot black trailer, and yada, yada, yada." The police said, "Man, your description was so accurate. I saw him going the other way down Jupiter immediately, and the second I flipped to you, they knew I was after him. So they took off and ran. This gigantic truck with the trailer full of refrigerators ran from the police." Did y'all hear about that at all? It made news.
I might have.
Oh, it wound up in a ditch over off 635 or something.
They jumped a hill, started firing at the police helicopters.
That's always smart.
Tried to carjack somebody. I mean, it was like
the Grand Theft Auto style.
It was like
they
had just been watching.
Gets out of the truck, wrecks the truck, runs over to another car, trying to open some dude's door, jump in it. Like it was on the news.
Luckily we haven't had any issue in years.
It feels like it's something me and Edgar chased down.
I was going to say,
did y'all have an issue?
One night or two.
Yeah, we probably covered it, but we don't remember. There's so many.
We've covered one or two chases.
My favorite one was the 18-wheeler that it caught on fire, and it went all over. It was great.
No.
Great.
Oh, is
The
that the
best
one
chase-
in Arlington or wound up in? There was.
It went all through Dallas. It was a lumber 18-wheeler with one of those mules.
Oh yeah.
Things, and the guy. I mean, the whole city was. It was very much LA-esque.
Oh yeah.
Because people were outside cheering him on, and it was crazy.
They have no idea what he did. But
The hands down best one I ever saw was the guy that ran into a car, like he was in a high speed chase, and that's how he stopped. And the mother gets out and starts beating the guy, and then all of a sudden, out of the back seat, this kid comes out and just starts flailing around. He gets out of the car and he realizes something's happening. He starts flailing on the ground, and the mother is beating the snot out of the guy who hit their car.
Is that where the slogan came from, Mama Bear?
Maybe, I don't know,
think
but
that
all I
was
know is
it,
the
right?
cops. The
Yeah,
cops
yeah.
then
Yeah, yeah,
attack the thing, and she's just going nuts. And of course, the first person, the interviewer, and she's just like, nobody's gonna hit my. I just got that car, and she's going nuts. They all need to end that way.
Yeah.
I mean, live on TV, we're in the newsroom cheering this woman beating this dude.
Dude,
I'm like, this is awesome.
I've been covering the border for the past year now. It's been a whole year that I've been like literally the border. And we had, I was a network correspondent, and we were embedded with sheriff's office down south. And the guy goes, we're doing 135 miles an hour. Literally, we're behind them doing 135, 140. Our highest that we clocked was 147, right? And we have Spectre, air support from DPS. And
Right.
Spectre's got, these cameras that are just stupid, they're literally night and day.
Right.
And so this guy hits because the cops that are in that area know the curves, know
Right,
the
of course,
dips, know
yeah.
everything. And so we're on 131. And this guy hits a curb, hits a rock wall, right? Like literally head on, flips 4 times, gets out of the unit or the vehicle, right? And starts running. And cops chase him, handcuff him, this, that, and the other, right? And his main concern was, do I have all my teeth? And I remember the deputy going like, bro, I don't think you have any teeth left. He starts crying, going like, dude, don't do that. Do I have all my teeth? It's like, yeah.
Did they have I guess he had
no
dentures or something?
No, he hit so hard that he thought that he lost all his teeth. It's like, dude, they're all there. Okay, great. So then the correspondent goes.
Do I have all my
hilarious.
10 minutes later, the correspondent goes to get his jacket because it's really cold. And he goes, hey, man, did you enjoy the show? My correspondent goes, what? Did you enjoy the show? It's like, what show? The chase. He started laughing, and then he goes, why'd you run? Because it was fun, man. Did you enjoy the show?
It was a show.
Sounds like I want to be on TV.
Yep. Did you enjoy the show?
Oh, that's
Anyway, I go back
hilarious.
to chases. Being on a chase is probably as close as I'll ever get to these guys that are on stage playing music, right? Just that adrenaline rush and all that stuff, because it's you have no control. The person driving has control, and the guy in front of you, you don't know if he's going to shoot at you, or if he's got bodies, if he's got
Right.
people in the vehicle, and so anyway, that adrenaline is like no other. It's been very interesting.
Wow, that's
digress
crazy.
Again.
So I was thinking earlier when you were telling that story, or the multiple stories you told, it made me think. So, since it looked like a scene, as you described, I kept visioning the end of Breaking Bad, and this was the building where it all took place. But is that what made you go, hey, this is a great place for a studio?
I think I've said it if I haven't said it enough. All of this has happened by accident. None of this was planned. How I became owner of this property, it was mostly individual tenants. I discovered my best tenants were business tenants, so I just started renting to business people only, contractors, and that's how I met him, because they had a construction company. So it's all kind of happened by accident, really. I mean, that's the truth of it.
If you only had more
But
people.
if there is such a thing as accident, I mean, maybe it's coincidence, like
Happy accident, as we call it.
Serendipity?
There you go.
Fate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
Fate?
I like happy accident.
Yeah, me too.
When something, how something
Little
happens,
Bob
you're like,
Ross.
oh, that's cool. It's like when you're shooting. It's like when you're
Rick
shooting.
lives
video.
in fate.
I do. I live in fate. It's the
used
one
to-
exit you'll miss it.
I used to always, because I went to school for broadcasting at Texas A&M at Commerce. It was East Texas State University back then. But I always used to drive by Fate when I'd go to Dallas for work at a studio, believe it or not. And every time I was like, I processed this screenplay that I have like in my head. I've never written it, but it's in my head. And it's about the town of Fate and a bunch of people who end up there, and they all win the lottery. in a pool. And,
whole town.
But the whole thing's about all the stories that lead up to that.
Oh, that's interesting.
I like that.
And I even
Interesting.
I like those kind of stories.
And what was really weird is like just literally last night I was like playing like what I envisioned as the opening scene for this movie in my head, like, and I was like, why is this coming back to me? Like it's just bizarre because I mean I've been circling this story in my head for 3 decades.
Well, nobody won last night, so
Have you written screenplays before?
Mm-hmm.
I got 2.
I have.
That's awesome.
I was a finalist for
wow.
Disney
That's fantastic.
Fellowship with one before, and strangely enough, a couple years later, I saw something on TV that looked very similar.
Oh, so similar. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, wonder where they got that idea.
Do you have a good lawyer?
No. Looking for one.
That's the way it goes. Yeah, that's the hardest part. Is having the lawyer to do
I've
it.
written 2.
Yeah.
Did they
I
stop?
did a short that was good.
Did they stop doing the 24-hour film festival?
No, they still do it.
They still do it.
Yeah,
they just
That's kind of
done
cool.
stuff like that. Well, mine.
I could never
The thing
do
in
that.
my
Oh, yeah,
head is
yours
way
is different.
It's
Yeah.
full fledged like
I don't know that
a
I could
movie.
do 24-hour film. Like, it's just too much. Like, that's so much
We
work.
did it 1 year. That was it 1 year. But it was cool. I mean, we all
You
had
know-
our own.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
The
we
movie,
had our
just the amount of
scenes and all
moving
that.
parts that have to work in a 24-hour period.
Oh,
Because you can't do it.
agreed.
You don't know what your script is.
No,
you have
you
no
don't.
idea.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you have 24 hours. Like, no, I'd get 2.
Like
You have
literally, you have 24 hours. You
make a
show
movie?
up.
They
show
tell you
up.
the theme, and then you have 24 hours to shoot.
Wow.
Well,
and
and to
edit.
make sure that you didn't pre-shoot stuff, you had to use 3 props that they gave
They
you.
give you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the twist.
That I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
that's
they give-
a smart.
Yeah, they give you 3 props that nobody knows about that they say, and it's got to be.
Is it the same for everybody, or is it?
Everybody?
Okay, so everybody has 3. Okay,
3, like
How
let's
long
say,
does the movie have to be?
as long as you can
yeah,
do
as
it in
long as
24
you can
hours.
do it in 24 hours.
Usually they're like 10 minutes.
Okay.
They're not very long.
Okay.
Yeah, but you get
pretty
the
cool.
concept, the script, and then they tell you you have to incorporate a blue Nike jacket, for example. A Perrier water bottle has to be in your major scenes, and then something else, whatever.
Wow,
you
that's
know.
interesting.
And so 3 things, so they know that you didn't pre-shoot all your stuff.
And they get to the showing, and it's everything sponsored by Perrier.
Yeah, right.
That's it, pretty much.
Wow, that's interesting.
Actually, today's podcast is
Brought to you by-
Perrier.
No,
they're-
the podcast is brought to you by
They're cutting us a
Workspace
check.
Studios.
Yeah, right.
Workspace Studios.
for sure. For sure. To say if Perrier is cutting a check, I'll take it.
I know, that's good. We should. Back to that lawyer. Where's our lawyer?
If Perrier is listening, we would love to have you as a sponsor.
Absolutely.
We
Yes,
drink
we
drink Perrier
we love
all day, every day.
We love
at? We will take your water
with every meal.
and your money.
So 6 years later, you show up,
Yes.
right? And so, did you just see it as a white canvas, or did you see it as I need office space, and then saw the white canvas and the possibility of what it is now?
He saw a bathroom that needed remodeled.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cold.
He did that quick. He did that as quick as he
bathroom
could.
needs to go.
That was just cold.
It was kind of like I feel like it was like, like a new cat's rolling in, and I just had to.
I'm out.
I just had to mark my territory. Be like, Todd, we're either gonna survive this, or we're gonna never see each other again. And we survived it. We lived through it. We lived through that bathroom.
Did you finish the bathroom on Friday and then come in Monday morning and it was gone?
I don't think it was quite that quick, but it wasn't far.
Because that would be hilarious to me.
It was, I mean, how long
have
did
been
y'all have
Monday.
the office? Because I redid it when y'all were taking that office over.
Yeah.
Because you remember you had the first office first, and then y'all rented the
It
second
just
office.
Grew and grew. We just took
And then
on
y'all
more
took over the
space,
other building,
and
too,
Then the side to the left opened up. And then back to his point of like there was no like premeditative like thought. It was just kind of like
Right.
start and we'll just keep going. And then
It's still
then
going.
some guys moved out. So then we're like, well, now we got this space. Let's. Part of the reason of changing the original space is like, oh, now we can put a door here because now we can use this space over here. And now we're going to take that bathroom out because we got.
Todd's like, I didn't even go to the bathroom in it yet.
Yeah, and then
as a
the guy
landlord-
behind us, they opened up, and then we're like, hey, we can put a venue back here, and it just
As a landlord, like bathrooms are like gold. Like, you want more bathrooms, so
Except that
it's
one.
okay. Except that.
But when we first met, I mean, we hung out.
You should have just framed the vocal booth around it.
You just hear just the toilet flushing as we're, right in the middle of a guitar solo. Just
Become one of those guys
free
who-
reverb.
damn it, start
Become
over.
become one of those guys who records natural sounds
Yeah.
and uses it in your thing. You're like, dude, someone go take a dump so we can get some audio.
Yeah, go fry an egg.
I need to hear the splash.
Cue the splash.
Just have a case
Perfect. He
of
did it on cue. Go.
case of Metamucil there, just probably just ready at any time. Just keep it going. No, there was no premeditation. It wasn't like I walked in like studios. I mean, we and Todd just hung and built a friendship for the first year or two, and then I left the company I moved down here for to work with to start my own deal, and I was doing I think the spark to put it was my place in Uptown got broken into, which was a wild story.
I do remember that.
And that expedited the moving.
You had
of
some guitar,
getting the-
equipment, stolen guitars and stuff.
And
Which
surprisingly,
they recovered all that,
Yeah.
which is unusual.
Right.
They
There's a
found it at a
whole
local
nother,
pawn shop. Yeah, the police actually found your stuff.
Detective McGee, if you're out there listening, you
rock.
are.
Did you get that
a
stuff
Christmas.
back automatically from the pawn shop? Like, does pawn shop have to just eat that?
No, it's crazy. The police. I've learned a lot about it, and luckily the guy who broke in was a professional.
Yeah.
And he was on the record.
Oh,
and
they're like, that guy.
and they were able to like kind of pin my studio as more of a commercial deal, and they jacked up because they sold a substantial amount of stuff. So they were ready to book him pretty hard with it. So they really wanted to catch him and book him because it wasn't like a petty theft. It was like, no, you robbed a business,
Right.
Todd knows, like with the business, there's a lot of different rights you have
different.
as a business, or things are treated when it's commercial instead of just, hey, you stole my watch. And,
Yeah, you're treated better,
and
by the
some
way.
guitar. Yeah.
If you're a commercial property.
So they put the book to him. I luckily had all the serial numbers. I had everything documented. So any musicians out there, write down take a picture of it, write down the serial number. So they have a database. They put that stuff in at as pawn shops are supposed to log that kind of stuff. And they got 3 or 4 hits, different pawn shops, and got all my guitars back. My dad's guitar that he had when he was bought in brand
Sentimental
new
stuff,
63.
yeah.
Some stuff that was irreplaceable. It was devastating.
Oh,
And
that was a bad day. I remember. I remember seeing Marshall that day. I was like,
It's a bad
we
6
put him on.
months.
We took his shoelaces. We put an orange reflective jacket on him. We just kept him under, within eyesight.
Tied his arms around his back so he couldn't do anything.
a big dent in the wood floors of that place where I drove my iPhone. I took whatever I'm about into the ground, and there's just a nice big divot, a chunk out of wood where
It was literally
I
the
sat
day
and-
he destroyed the toilet.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I cried
think he
and-
took it out on that bathroom. But no,
and,
so after that,
but that helped
break-in,
push
you're
the I need a new space, and Todd's like, I got space, and I'm like, well,
Space I
let's-
got.
Yeah, he's in the business.
the one
of
thing I
space.
got.
So
I'm
that
like, weird. I can help you there.
that kind of, and I was on my own, the business. I was like, I needed a new place to operate, and I'm like, let's do it here. And it just kind of grew and grew and grew, and then more people showed up, and
then I couldn't get rid of him.
and then we're kind of like, wait a minute, you work for us now, gotta do.
was here today.
Ipso facto, I'm your boss.
Like we have more space. Like we rented at one time. Like we rented the majority of the space here. I felt like we were the biggest tenant, so we're kind of like,
That's right.
You gotta work for us a little, If we like,
That's
if we
funny.
leave, But we had to go.
They tried that on me, by the way. Remember Cody tried that. He's like, Todd's screwed if we move out. I was like, no, I'm going to be able to charge normal prices instead of the good buddy deal.
Yeah, you're like, I had to cut.
Is
my
it
buddy
time for
deal.
word of the day, by the way? I see the...
He's ready to hit the button.
Yes.
That's
I
his
see
favorite
it.
thing to do.
I see it.
Word of the day.
He loves the button.
Word of the day.
Word of the day.
Word of the day.
I like it.
All right. Well, that is now officially word of the day.
Intro music for word of the day.
Okay, these aren't the greatest words of the day, but this is the reason why I brought Edgar back after Marshall here kicked him to the curb. Hot pod. What's a hot pod?
Oh, I'm gonna let people.
You want other people to
Oh
try?
yeah,
I know what a hot
it is, 'cause
pocket
that's
is.
unfair. That's unfair.
Let me.
I know what a hot pocket is.
Use it in a sentence. Hot pocket. What is the grammatical?
Do you want me to
epithet of it?
use? Do you want me to go off shoulder, or you want me to use the hot pod?
Oh, now I know what it is.
Now you're doubling stuff off shoulder. What's off?
Camera.
Off shoulder
Okay.
or Do you want me to use the hot pod?
Hot pod is on a tripod. Is that what it is? An active camera, a hot camera on a tripod. Is that what that is?
But
Hot
it's a
pod.
particular kind of tripod.
So it's a
Awful.
it's a Sackler tripod. Sackler is a German company, and it's not very advantageous to gentlemen like Marshall, but to guys like me, it gives you an additional 3 feet of up air that you can just
Has a pole in it
telescope
that'll-
Goes
your
really tall.
camera way up there.
All right, like
And so when there's a
a periscope.
yeah, so
In
when
other
you're-
words, for Marshall, it'd be normal eye length.
Yeah, you would. My perspective.
Yeah, we don't want Marshall standing in front of us when we
Correct.
telescope it up.
You know what
'cause
I just realized?
He's
that,
always in the back row.
if he was a photog at sporting events, he wouldn't
Dude,
need
win.
he wouldn't need
Winner.
to do a stool. He'd
Kill.
just
I mean, you know,
Oh, you need
would
somebody
just-
alive.
he'd actually be looking down at Luther.
winner.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, my wife's 5'2", 5'3", and
Holy
she.
cow.
So it's really. I'm cool with the background. Like I always joke, I got the best view in the house. Sorry, you ain't gonna beat it. There's very few people that can block my view, and I like a more distant view. You can see the more scape. At concerts, she wants to push to the front, and I'm just like.
And then everybody behind
and
him
I
is
can
like
just
that.
feel the burning
the anger.
sensation in the back of my head, and there's like
guy.
this wake behind me of people like pushing away to not
Tryna-
be behind me, and I'm like, God, Whitney.
I'm sorry.
And I'm just looking around. I'm like, it's her. I'm sorry. I'd be in the back. It's not me. It's her.
I'll kneel.
never been in the front of a
Now,
photo either, have
just
you?
on
no.
just a quick note on his tallness. That when remember we went to that Rangers like open game a while back.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like 2 other guys that were like 6'11", 6'10", like almost. And for the first time I saw Marshall standing up tall, like looking at eye to eye with these other dudes. I could tell they were all trying to see who was a little taller. I was like, damn it, like because normally he has to hunch over to talk to people, but
It's a gentleman's thing.
Yeah, that
between
day.
us us tall folk.
yeah, just the 3 of y'all were like. I noticed like.
Oh, at a
eyes were
bar,
raising.
I'll be like, you sit in a group, and I'll see a tall guy walking out. I'm like, hey, go
Okay.
size me up. I'm gonna like just. Oh no! Like he said, well, I'm gonna go run to the bathroom, but as I pass him, tell
Seriously,
me
bro?
I'm taller. Because if I'm not the tallest person in the room, we're going to a different bar.
These are the things that
I'm not gonna stay.
these are the things that tall people deal with. Like
and no joke. I'll
it's
see other
not
dudes.
enough to be tall. You have to
I've-
be the tallest in the entire
Yeah,
restaurant.
and it's a code, an unwritten code, because there'll be dudes that'll do the same thing to me. I'll be standing and I'll see some guy just kind of walk, and the guy
And their
will, I'll be
posture
like, hey,
improves.
I'll be like, hey, watch him as he walks by. And
My
I just kind of lift up and as he's walking by
Always.
me, and it's like,
Porzingis walks in the room,
Yeah.
and you're like,
yeah, then I'm screwed.
I was telling them, do you still go to the state fair dressed as Big
Oh
Tex?
yeah, I haven't been post-COVID world or all that, but now COVID is a D-Day or is in now ever a thing.
Post, pre and post.
P and post. We have a pre and
AC/DC?
pre, yeah.
Instead of
pre-COVID.
antediluvian, can we say anti-COVIDian?
Yes.
Which is pre-COVIDian?
Yeah, we were pre.
Can we just do ACPC?
BC, it's like BC, yeah. Before COVID,
Pre.
I would go and I'd dress up as Big Tex, and it's if I ever invite you to go, don't go with me because it's terrible.
You'll be mobbed.
for spectators because
You'll
you
be
literally
mobbed.
make it 3 feet into the state fair and then you don't leave or don't do anything because people
Everybody
just want
wants
to take
their
the
picture.
picture. Yeah, like you make it.
You
just
charge
right
them
there.
$5 a pop.
I got smart. I started doing. I want some fried Thanksgiving. Maybe a beer. Just make it fun. Just
You
give
get me a
some-
funnel cake
yeah,
right now.
Some
That's what I'd say. I'd be like
So
$5.
Here's an idea, and I will be your agent, not your
All right.
manager. Very different. Agents get more money.
Agents get a bigger cut.
Yes, sir. I will be your agent.
Agents get 20%.
All right.
Managers only get 10.
I like it.
Literally, I would like hook up, and you have her number, and so do I. But with the Fletchers from Corny Dog, the Fletchers,
Oh, call Amber.
Love
call
corn dogs.
Amber,
call Amber.
and make an appearance on Fridays. Get paid a few $100.
She'd do it.
Oh, she'd do it in a heartbeat.
She'd do it in a heartbeat.
in a
man.
heartbeat, bro.
I'll take lifetime supply of Fletcher's corn dogs. That's what I want.
They
for
just
the
opened
deal.
up a permanent.
I will show up when they call me. I'll do X
Literally,
amount
they
of
just did a
you-
permanent food truck now that's going to be at Clyde Warren Park with
There you go.
Fletchers.
They can put me on call.
how
I'll
do you
give
get
them
your
X amount of
agent
appearances a
cut?
year. Give me unlimited corn dogs.
how do you get your agent cut in that
Well, he gets that,
deal
he
there?
gets-
Well, no,
He
he-
cuts
he-
off
all
a
he
little
gets
piece of the
corn dog a month.
No, bro.
He cuts off
all he
20%
wants-
of the hot dog.
All he
10
wants is
corn
corn dogs,
dogs.
so I can set the fee.
So you get 10 corn
Hello,
dogs
he just
a week
Yeah,
or what?
he just gave me the code. Like I'm gonna charge him $500 for appearance, and this cut is
Corn dogs.
Corn dogs.
Lifetime supply.
I'm telling
Exclusive.
you. Yes or no? Would Amber not
She
hire
100%
him?
she would.
I want a shirt.
I don't think she would. I know she would.
I just want to know be known as the what do you call them? The
wanna walk
mascot.
up
The
to
mascot of
the
Fletcher's Corn
Fletchers.
Dogs.
They
Yeah.
got
That
mad.
alone is worth it to me.
They got
My
mad.
face.
They got mad at me when we did our podcast because I
On
never
every
had a corn dog.
package.
Really?
They got mad at me about it.
He doesn't
I don't
like
corn
corn
dogs.
dogs.
I don't like them.
What?
Yeah, they make me sick. They make my stomach sick.
un-American.
But anyway, we put it in a podcast, and the next day,
Untexted, sir.
the day after the podcast came out, Fletcher's Corn Dog was like, "We'll give you a corn." I'm like, "We will come and do a show right there," and they never responded back. But I would have totally done a podcast, and I'd have eaten one for the show. I wouldn't have liked myself later, but I would have eaten it.
Made sure he had
True
jalapeno.
dedication.
Yum.
That's a
Yeah.
So good.
I'm
I
gonna be
mean-
your agent.
I mean, I would totally do it for the show.
So
Well,
All
that's our how we got from hot
hot pot.
pods,
pots,
to hot dogs and
That's how
and,
the
corn
show.
dogs.
That's how this show works, man.
Yeah.
and cornbread.
Everything falls off the tracks quickly.
So in wrapping everything up, I just wanted to include this in this podcast, and I already kind of went over with you earlier today, but we've kind of come into a project, and we were kind of asked, like, who are your 3 dream voiceover talent people that you would pick to do narration?
So you have someone do a voiceover
You
for
had
your
3
story.
people to choose.
Who would be the 3 your short list?
Todd can't. He can't talk.
Todd already answered.
He said Liam
First,
Neeson.
well, first of
Neeson.
all, I didn't know it was for a civil rights story, so I would have changed my answer. But he's got an amazing voice.
Well,
You
let's-
said Liam Neeson.
I did.
we'll say for
No,
your
but
purposes,
we
your
weren't
choice for
saying-
your story.
we
We're just,
weren't-
that's our story.
Yeah, we weren't saying. We're just saying your
Liam
dream.
To narrate our
Say you had a story, and they're going to narrate
Bio-
your
And
story.
you-
They're going to
biography
narrate the
of
biography.
us?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
not
Or
necessarily.
in general.
just in
or
general.
just a story.
Your story.
3. Oh man.
Just pick one. Pick a dream.
Pick
narrator.
one. You pick your dream narrator.
Oh, my first, or you already went? Did you
No,
already
you
go?
go. You
Oh
go, bro.
God, on the spot. Weird Al? No.
That would be such a good one.
Oh, voice. Man, it's hard, even though I'm not British, it's like hard to not. I mean, I just feel like British people just like are great narrators.
Mine would be Donald Sutherland.
Nice.
Oh,
Donald, the Don.
he would be good. Or Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott would be good.
So good.
See, we're taking them.
Oh, you're taking them. You should put my.
I said
Hurry
Liam
up.
Neeson. Who's the guy who Josh Brolin who did Thanos? He's got a nice voice. I'm sorry. I'm throwing out too many.
You're taking names
Turn
away
his microphone
from
off
bro.
immediately.
Edgar,
No,
you might
good.
spit yours out
Yeah,
before
spit
yours
yours
get
out.
No, no,
taken.
go ahead, bro.
Oh, you're killing me.
Morgan Freeman
Well, that's a show. Yeah, or
or
what's his name?
James Corden.
or Darth
James
Vader.
Corden.
No, James Earl
Local.
Jones.
Yeah.
James
Local.
Earl Jones
Best.
was mine. That would be mine.
James and Earl,
best.
James Earl Jones
Yes.
would have to be on the short list.
Oh,
for
And then
sure.
my third one, Mr. Longhorn.
Oh,
Oh,
McConaughey.
really? McConaughey.
McConaughey would be good. If you've ever listened to his book, it'd
Oh
be
yeah,
good.
I know. I listened
I
to his book.
love
His
his
book
book.
is
I love his
fire,
book.
bro.
Yeah.
And I mean his cadence and just his depth and
All right,
oh my gosh,
all
I might
right,
have
all
a
right.
crush on him. I don't know. Oh,
Another one,
boy.
Todd said, or he said Micro.
Mike Rowe would be good.
Oh, Mike Rowe
Dirty
would
Jobs?
be good. Yeah.
guy's got that DVD voice.
If Barry White was still alive, he'd be awesome.
Marshall's still thinking.
I know. I'm just thinking. Now I'm on McConaughey. Like McConaughey would be great.
Have you said one yet?
There's
No,
no.
no.
He's repeated some, but he hasn't said one.
He said James Earl
just
Jones.
a really.
Oh no, he did say James
I just got
Because I
my,
waited for him to say it.
I'm flashing my whole life in my head right now and just
Like all the voices I've ever heard.
thinking. I love listening to. And my music bone will come out. Tom Petty, he does Buried Treasure. He does a DJ show on XM, and just like
What about Christopher Walken?
Christopher Walken would be great.
It would get
too.
boring after because
I don't
it's
know.
so
I love it.
repetitive.
I like listening to Petty on the. For my narration, it'd have to have an edge or
Yeah.
a twang.
Let's have
that
Ozzy
southern
do it.
part. It's like there's beautiful voice out there. James Earl Jones, like that would be great,
yeah.
or Michael Caine, or whatever.
Oh,
like
Michael
some of the
Caine would
bird-
be good too. That'd be
like,
really good.
But I don't know if they
Ooh,
would really
Anthony
fit
Hopkins.
my life.
Right,
It'd be
right,
very
that's true.
kind of
I still go with McConaughey. Bro.
polar,
Yeah.
but McConaughey would be
I
tough.
would have to choose him because he's a
all right.
Texan.
I don't think he belongs in politics, but his reaction to what happened in Uvalde, and I don't mean to bring this down, his reaction and his response was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he took days there, hours talking to people, and he said, no media, no cameras, no photos, no nothing.
Yeah.
This is not about me. This is about where I went to school. Because he's from there.
Right.
So this for me to the families. That's it. And nobody knew he was there.
Yeah.
That's
Class act.
class act and a dude, just a dude of dudes. Like
If his kids were older, I think he would have ran for governor.
yeah.
If his kids were older.
It's coming.
He's not going to do it while his kids are young.
No,
Right.
but it's coming.
Oh, I agree. It is. I think it's about 10. It'll be 10 to 15 years. Let
Yeah.
his kids get old enough that he doesn't have to worry about them. I think then he'll do it.
Yeah, like Garth did, right? Garth took a
I
break.
could see him in
went
The
to
Rock.
be a dad.
Him and The
and
Rock
that's it.
running for like office would be
The
hilarious.
Rock.
I want Jon Stewart to run for office. I think Jon Stewart would be a phenomenal politician.
He's made some political showings.
I know, but he like.
I don't know if
We
he's
just
that
turned
into
into
it.
politics.
No,
We did.
Yeah. All right, anyway.
Jeff
Politics.
Bridges.
God.
by the
Jeff
way,
Bridges.
would
Oh,
be
that's a good
another
one.
Bridges,
great
Bridges, the dude.
voiceover
Yeah.
guy.
He's good.
His brother Bo too. Bo would be good too.
Yeah.
But Jeff would be great.
Yeah.
So,
Good deal.
Good voices. Good voices.
Gentlemen, thank you again for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
You guys are cordially invited back anytime.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
week.
In a new space. We'll
And
be in a different
Workspace
space.
What should I put?
Studios
What should I put in the
Garland.
fridge for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll stock the fridge.
Water works just fine for me. So,
Workspace.
Studios.
Workspace Studios. I'm Rick. That's Greg. JMKast. Thank you.